Hello, my name is Jimmy and welcome to the 2024 BMW i5. Essentially, it's a 95,000 or aspect like 114,000 Canadian dollars. Well, M550 replacement. Because the i5 is their electric version of the 5 Series. They still have the 5 Series on the exact same platform, unlike Mercedes, for example, where they're going like EQE and EQS is different than the E-Class. BMW is like, let's make it, well, one platform and then electrify it. So there are some compromises to this chassis, but I think it's a much better looking vehicle than the EQ series from Mercedes. But I'll get to that. I promise I will. What this is a 593 horsepower sedan. And with boost, you get 603 pound-feet of torque. We all know it's going to be quick, but is it an M? Let's put it into sport mode, activate that, and, well, let's put it through some corners and see. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Yeah, that's plenty fun. So, this, as said, is an M550 replacement. It's an M60 now, no longer an M550. I love the previous gen M550, that 4.4 twin turbo V8 was just smooth. It was just a really, really good engine. This, obviously, it's not an engine, it's a powertrain, right? It's a little different, I gotta admit. But I don't think it's that bad. I think it's actually a really, really good replacement. In terms of power anyways, definitely not in terms of noise. But let me tell you everything you need to know about the i5, starting with, well, the looks. As said, the i5 shares its base with the 5 Series. So instead of looking like, well, a blob or just a teardrop, this definitely has a lot more BMW influence on it, and I definitely love the way that it looks. On the front, you still get your kidney grills, and they are illuminated at night, which actually looks really sharp. LED headlamps flank the side, and those look amazing as well. It is a very BMW-esque front end. On the side, well, it's very clean. It's actually a very flat side. And of course, you get the Hofmeister kink on the rear window. You get the little 5 Series badge here as well. A little trick that they're using is just this bottom piece here where it's blacked out, so you don't get that full-on height from the battery. It's just a little trick to make you think that the vehicle is, well, maybe a little bit lower to the ground and maybe not as tall as you might think it actually is. Rear end, of course, there's the LED taillights, and on the bottom there are some M-styled kind of aero treatments. I mean, overall, I think the vehicle looks really good. As said before, I like this a lot more than the EQ series from Mercedes. There's just a blob shape where this, well, it's distinctively BMW. It's kind of evolution of their 5 Series, and it does look good on the outside. If we pop it in the trunk, we do lose a little bit of space compared to the regular 5 Series. At 17.3 cubic feet, it's definitely not small, and there's a little bit of underfloor storage as well. Should be enough for most people. As for the back seats, pretty good. Headroom, legroom, both are plentiful. It is a 5 Series after all. Kind of feels like an older 7 Series, really, with the amount of space I got. I do got sun blockers on the sides, and they do cover the quarter window here as well. Heated seats and climate control is all controlled through this digital screen here. You got vents on not only the center, but also on the side. That's pretty cool. USB-C port in the center, as well as in the back of the front seat, which also has this port here. So you're able to put like coat hangers or whatever, iPads and screens and whatnot onto that. So that is actually quite useful. What's weird is you don't get pockets in the back of the front seats anymore. I mean, sure, not a lot of people would have magazines or books, but some people still do, right? This is missing. It's just really bare. But I guess with this holder thing in the center, you're probably going to be using that more than the pockets themselves anyway. So I guess, it's fine. If you're thinking about carrying child seats in here, well, The i5 is not a problem at all for that. On the driver's side, this is a Kleckling infant seat. No problems getting that infant carrier in here. There's plenty of space for that. On the passenger side, this is a Kleck 5 in rear facing. Even with a bulky rear seat, there's really no issues with the front occupant. So you're able to have child seats in here and, well, still have 4 people very comfortably if you include like 2 child seats, because there's really no way you're going to be squeezing a third one in here. It's just not wide enough for that. As for lower anchors, you get 2 sets, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. Love this flap. It sticks on to, well, the latch itself, so you don't have to worry about losing the cover ever. And then there's just 3 upper anchors just behind the headrests. As for the front seats, they're really, really comfortable. They're heated, they're cooled. Sadly, no massaging and no inflatable bolsters on the side. So when you're going around corners, you do shift around a little bit. I recall the M550 having that. And I also recall the M550 having heated panels, so like a heated armrest on the side. Well, both sides. So that, you know, when you put your forearms down, you get a little bit of a warmer panel. It's a nice feature, definitely not a deal breaker, but don't get it here. Kind of weird. In front, you do get an M Sport steering wheel, so you do get the M stitching on the side, a little M logo on the bottom, and this indicator so that you know exactly which way is up. Any driver that's going to be using that really in an M60? Probably not. This looks just a little bit out of place compared to the rest of the interior, but still, it's quite nice. And you got your boost paddle ready to go just right behind the steering wheel there. Behind, you do get a full digital cluster, decently customizable with different themes, layouts, and whatnot. You get a heads-up display with different configurability there as well. And of course, your center infotainment screen, latest BMW UI. For some parts of it, it is a little confusing just simply because of what it's able to do now. There's a lot of features that's basically baked into it. Climate control, Apple CarPlay, and like there's apps you can download. So there's a lot that you can do. And because of that, it can be a little confusing. However, for me, like I set the temperature, I put on auto and set the fans to low or medium. And that's it for climate control. And then I'm in CarPlay the rest of the time. So for me, it's not that bad. However, I can understand if you're going to be digging through the menus a little bit, it can get a little complicated. As for the rest of the interior, well, it's quite nice. I mean, it's very BMW-esque. Everything is still tilted towards the driver. The screen is still fully touch, and you get the iDrive control knob in the center, and you get your gesture control, so you can turn up and down your radio and skip forward and mute. Or turn off. I don't know who would want to do that. The volume control, that's something I do use, because this one, it just works really well. But the rest of it, like, it's just a nice interior. It's a 5 Series, right? So you do get the blend of, well, essentially a more executive sedan. And the ambient lighting, just the overall feel of the interior definitely gives you that vibe. But let's talk about the powertrain here. That's important. As it is the M60, it's currently the most powerful 5 Series available. 593 horsepower, 549 pound-feet of torque, 605 when you use the boost function. Power is fed to both axles. There's an 81.2 kilowatt-hour battery and a range of 412 kilometers. Well, I guess I do have to launch it. Left foot on brake, right foot on throttle. The seatbelt's going to be tugging at me. It feels alive, and then there's going to be sound. But I'll show you. Sounds like it's launching. Yeah, the seatbelt like ties you in. It's like there's that sense of excitement, let's be honest. But that sense of excitement is across many electric vehicles. But what this does really well is in the corners, it still feels like a 5 Series. It feels great. Handling is, well, just what BMW is known for. Sure, the steering isn't as connected as it used to, but it still feels really, really good. Like, the 4-wheel steering that's in this, it just makes the vehicle feel a little bit, well, smoother. Because, well, like in parking lot maneuvers, that rear wheel, it just turns the opposite way to make the vehicle just shorter. And when you're on the highway or going a little bit quicker, it turns the same way. So you're kind of like moving towards that. And that does help stability. And you definitely feel it. It's a very stable vehicle. It's a very, hate to say it, Germans just know how to do like a high speed kind of Autobahn type vehicle. It just feels different. It feels secure. And I know that's a lot of, what people are kind of looking for when they're looking at a German vehicle. It's just, they want something to feel solid. And it does. Like, it lives up to that. It is solid. And it feels like it. Let me throw around this corner here just to feel those G's again. Because, this just feels great. I am on snow tires, so I don't have as much grip, but it's still good. It's still good. Sure, I'm missing the noise from a twin turbo V8 or an inline six or a V10 that, the M5 had before, but it's fine. I'm not that upset about it. Sure, this could be just a little bit more of an enthusiast car if it had those things. But I think what it has in total, what BMW is trying to put out here, I think this product is very sensible. And the best part is it's like $30,000 less than the EQE that I tested. Sure, that had more power, but this is less in terms of weight. On paper, it is a little slower to 60, but 3.5 seconds to 100 on paper from BMW, which they always advertise a lower numbers anyways. You're gonna be fine. It's more than quick enough. You don't need anything faster than this. Oh, look, a stop sign. How wonderful. Oh, my left foot just happened to be on the brake. Let's try launch mode again. Oh, my neck hurts. Oh, that is very enjoyable. It really is. Overall, let's be honest here. The M60 that we have here is not for everyone. This demo car is definitely to show off what BMW can do. And when they try, they can definitely do some amazing things. They really can. Most people is probably going to end up with the regular i5 or just the regular 5 Series with the gasoline motor. Yeah, there's no frunk, and yes, it's a horrible use of space. Yes, it has a ginormous kidney grille on the front, and it's fake, and there's a lot of gloss black on the outside, and there's gloss black on the inside that someone's going to complain about. But I don't care about those things. When I drive a BMW, what I want to know is it a BMW? And this certainly is. It's comfortable in normal mode. In sport, it does firm up, and you definitely feel that in the suspension. And this has the optional active anti-roll bars. I want to test them back to back with and without, but this has been so enjoyable in corners. I've been diving into them. It's so good. So good. If you had an M550 of the past, you may not care about the sound too much. If maybe you've grown up a little bit and you're like, I can live without it, you're not missing much here. And I can live with electrified age of BMW if they're going to be like this. I'm very happy with this. In any case, let me know what you think of the i5 M60. If you love electrification or if you're a little bit more of a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 kind of fan. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll talk to you later. Of course I messed up at the end. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to leave this in because I can't be bothered. Because I want to throttle and do launch mode again. I'm just gonna break my neck with this car.